How we doing, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of FSI's NFL Showdown Preview Show. I'm your host, TK Nation 47, bringing you guys the Sunday Night Showdown breakdown. Apologies for last week not being around for the breakdown for last Sunday night's video. Kind of had a family emergency. So we're back. Everything's good. We have the San Francisco 49ers visiting the Denver Broncos. Jimmy G back into our lives, came in for the injured Trey Lance. He broke his ankle, so he will be out for the season. So it's Garoppolo for the future for the Niners, and that changes a lot of things, how we attack the 49ers offense. Russell Wilson not really getting off to the greatest start for Denver. But this is a good spot here in prime time for him as well. And the Denver Broncos. Just going into the game, we have a 45 total. Denver a slight underdog at 1.5. So quite odd to see here Russell Wilson being an underdog at home, especially in a primetime spot, Sunday Night Football. So that kind of leads me to believe that there are some sharp bettors taking money with the 49ers and Jimmy G. All right, so we're going to break down the showdown perspective here for the Sunday night game. And we're going to start off here with a couple of captains' picks. I'm going to rattle off three because I think this is a night where you kind of have to get a lot of exposure to different spots in different styles of, theory of gameplay here because there's a couple of different outcomes that could happen, right? Denver could win easily. It's always a possibility against the Niners, or the Niners can win easily. I think that would be centered around the return of George Kittle and San Francisco's quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo. So I actually like Jimmy G to be a captain in that spot. And you do get a little bit of a discount from Deebo Samuel. And you don't necessarily know exactly how much time Kittle's going to spend on the field, just coming back from his injury. And I think that kind of takes away from players like Ayuk. Dwelly's not going to be playing in this game. So, well, he will be, but not as much as you would hope with Kittle coming back. So, Jennings, man, I mean, there's not really much outside of Kittle and Ayuk from pass catcher standpoint besides Deebo Samuel. So that's kind of where I just want to take Garoppolo, get all the points, coming from him, from the quarterback. Because if San Francisco is going to throw all over Denver, I think it's going to be spread out. I don't think it's going to be centered around one player, and I think that would give you a good captain pick with Jimmy Garoppolo. Now, if Denver, I think, can win two ways. They could run the ball well, and they can control the clock, and I think that would lead me to Javonte Williams as my captain's pick here. As you can see in the last game, he had 15 rushes for 75 yards, a real abysmal rushing defense he faced last week against the Texans. Now he is sharing a lot of snaps with Melvin Gordon, so that does concern me for a captain's pick. But I think that Javonte has higher upside. I think he's going to be able to get better goal line carries, and I think he's going to be able to get into the end zone in situations like that. Now, we are looking into this Jerry Judy injury. That is a big part of the slate. He is listed questionable, on track to play, but he did miss some time with a rib injury last week. Courtland Sutton looked really good for the Denver Broncos. So really, I think my three picks, I'm going to go Javonte Williams, Deebo, because I think he has a lot of upside. And if he hits a couple of rushing touchdowns and a few catches, I could see him breaking the slate. Jimmy Garoppolo, I think, are your three options. I think you can go with Russ. You get a discount here with Samuel too. It kind of makes it work, but we're going to do this with the angle of Garoppolo as our captain. And then we're going to pair up Garoppolo with Deebo Samuel. And why not? Let's see, Kittle is cleared. I don't know. First start, it is prime time though. I it's a pretty soft price tag at 7,400 too. Denver does leak yards to the tight end, as you can see. It's hard to determine how much he is going to play, and I'm just not sure. But I think the price tag is really nice. Denver does have some decent corners. Patrick Surtain is going to play in this game, so it does worry me about players like Ayuk. But you know, 45-point total, there are going to be points scored in this game. I think you can go ahead if you want to go with Garoppolo trying to throw his way back into the game, and you got to have Javonte Williams in your lineup. I think you're able to fade Russell Wilson in that instance, hoping that he can get enough points on the ground to kind of get us there. Next up, we'll get into some values here. KJ Hamler says here he's listed questionable, expects to play. Kind of gets his role taken away with the Jerry Judy news that he's expecting to play, but we're going to have to take a look at inactives before we make a decision on that. Albert O, he's been really playing pretty well, 5,200. I don't mind him. In fact, I'll slide him in here, and this is all I'll give you, but 45, 40, about 5K left. I do like the kickers in this game. High altitude. They're going to have a better opportunity to hit some longer field goals. McManus, as you know, tried to hit that 60-yarder in the end of the Seattle game that he missed. So I think he's pretty live. I think Robbie Gould's pretty live too. And I'm not really feeling the defenses in this matchup. I actually think this game could actually shoot out more so than go the opposite direction. So I like short pass catchers like Jennings. You know, is another way to get another player exposure under 5K. And if we're going to go with some deep punts here, I don't really see much. I know Marlon Mack was just recently signed. I could see him getting like 5 carries in this matchup. I think Mason is a guy that's been here since training camp. Does look like he's going to take over the number 2 role for Jeff Wilson. He could be the pass catcher out of the backfield. So I think he is live at 1,000 in your flex spot. I think that's actually a really strong play. He could get some time out of the backfield. Maybe we see like hybrid Ray McLeod exposure, you know, a design play for him. So I think those would be the only 2 that I have a lot of interest in as far as punts. So Tevin Coleman is welcomed back from San Francisco, signed to the practice squad. We're going to have to see what the inactives look like. Kyle Juszczyk is kind of that weird fullback out of the flat that we've seen in these recent primetime games. Last week, we had Robert Gillum from Buffalo catch a few. He really made a difference as a punt play in that matchup for showdown purposes too. So you could look at Kyle Juszczyk, Mason, Coleman if he's active, Marlon Mack. You're just going to have to see which one of those guys is giving it a go. But I like the kickers, McManus, Gold is punt plays. I like Albert O. And then I like trying to get enough salary here with Garoppolo as captain or Williams, Sutton. I can see both of them doing their thing tonight too. So that'll wrap things up. If you guys have any questions, please comment below, like this video, and you can find us in our Discord chat on our website, fsidfs.com, or on our Twitter handle at fsi_DFS. All right. Thank you for listening in and enjoy tonight's matchup.